Now, according to various surveys, financial independence for women is not a luxury, but a necessity. Instead of being intimidated by managing money, women should feel empowered to take control of their finances. It has been discovered that women live longer than men by at least 5 years. And a study done by PwC shows that South African women are consistently paid less than their male counterparts. Thank goodness there isn't a male presenter on the show. I would have kicked him right about now. Now, coupled with this is the fact that women delay long-term savings, which is a recipe for financial disaster. So we have author and financial advisor Sylvia in studio to share some tips on how women can better manage their money. And of course, if you would like to ask Sylvia any questions, please do connect with us on social media using the hashtag Afternoon Express. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Wow, boy, do we need to have this chat. So as you heard us saying earlier, that I think the minute we have money coming in, it burns its way out and then finds its way out. Yes. Where are women making mistakes with regards to money compared to the mistakes that men are making in investments and savings?
I think for most people, money is quite a fearful area.
Yeah.
So people have got this anxiety and this angst often around money. But where women, the issue with women often is that they're so busy taking care of other people.
Yeah.
And they do earn less, we know that, sort of on average. And they often got children, they've got other people to support. And interesting too, we see that in the average household where a husband and a wife are both working and earning money, if you ask people, what do you spend your money on? You'll find the woman is spending her money on the daycare, the groceries, that kind of thing. And he spends his money on the policies and the assets. So women have a tendency to use their money to the betterment of other people.
Yeah.
And that's where they sell themselves short when it comes to actually looking after their own security.
Listen, nowadays it's so stressful because people are living longer in general. A man definitely isn't a financial plan. Yes. But also, is retirement something that people can still aim to do? Give us some tips on how a woman can be better with money.
So you talk about retirement. I mean, it's interesting. Women do outlive men, so they should be saving more towards retirement.
Yeah.
But in fact, we know from research that women save less, and they start later. So that's just one area where women need to actually be saving a lot more than what men should be saving. It's really about, for me, balance between today and tomorrow. And this is where we often fall short. We live for today. We spend it all today.
YOLO.
Yeah. And tomorrow will take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you get the other extreme where some people are totally frugal and they put every cent away because they live in fear of running out. Yeah. That's also not healthy. So it's about that balance. You need to use your money today for a lifestyle. Obviously, we work, we deserve a good lifestyle. Yeah. You must enjoy your life. But you also need to be able to make provision for tomorrow.
Yeah. How old should you be when you start saving? And do you save or do you invest?
So how old should you be? From your very first paycheck. I use the word check. People don't get checks, but from your first salary, absolutely. Yeah. And if you haven't started from your first salary, start tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow is better than next month or next year. So that's the first thing. The second thing around saving and investing. So saving is generally a short-term thing. Yeah. You'd put your money in a bank account and it's fairly liquid and you maybe want to access it for with a year or 2 years' time. Investing is a longer-term view. You'll take more risk. But it's got a longer-term growth potential. So that's really the difference.
What is the best kind of investment a woman can make nowadays? Like, is property still a good idea? Or those money market accounts? Like, where does one even start by considering investments?
Yeah, it's an absolute minefield. Yeah. So the very basic, everybody should have an emergency fund. Okay. And that's a savings account that you open, you put money aside, and that is really in case something goes wrong. Because the other side of the coin is the whole area of debt, which we're not really touching on. But if you haven't got that emergency fund, if the fridge packs up or your car battery, conks in, you need to then have money and you're going to go into debt. Yeah. So an emergency fund in a bank account, and then longer term, there's a whole range of options available. And I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all. There's a lot of stuff often out there on social media. Invest in this, you'll be rich. It's the get rich quick kind of story.
I know, but you can't get rich quick, unfortunately.
No,
I've tried.
Can't. No, it's just overwhelming. So it's really about people finding the right kind of investment that suits them.
Yeah. I think this is such a fascinating conversation because it is such an uncomfortable conversation for women to have. But what's the best financial advice you've ever received that you could share with us?
I think if I take it from my own life situation, life is tough. Life is a challenge. Yeah. Life's full of ups and downs, and it's a gamble. Life is a gamble. We never know what's coming around when we turn the next corner. Make sure that you have a financial base, a solid financial base, because if your money is okay, you can cope with anything in life.
Yeah.
So that's really what it's about for me.
It's true. And I remember, whenever I have money conversations, I always remember my dad saying one thing: cash is king. If you cannot afford to pay for it in cash, do not buy it on credit, because credit just keeps on, like, you never get out of it once you get into that circle.
No, absolutely. And of course, they always tell you, every 2-3 years you must drive a new car, you must have all the trappings. So, I mean, I could spend an hour talking about that alone.
Yeah.
The other tip really is around paying yourself first.
Okay.
And when you do your budget and you pay everybody else, I always say to people, on payday, all the creditors are lining up. They're waiting for their share of your money. Put yourself at the top of the list and even if it's 50 Rand a month, get into the habit of paying yourself first. Because if you wait until you've paid everybody else, there'll be nothing left for you.
Okay. Thank you so much for this incredible book, Smartwoman: How to Gain Financial Independence and Create Wealth. I mean, you speak my language, lady. This is amazing, and it's definitely a book that every single independent woman needs to be reading nowadays. So thank you so much for this. It is absolutely amazing. All right, let's see what South Africa wants to know about making moolah.
Absolutely, Jeannie. We've got so many independent women here that have got questions for Sylvia. Candy Bronwyn has asked, Afternoon Express, any advice on how to save, especially for single mothers out there, in today's world where more and more women are forced to take care of their kids, education and other expenses without the help of a father?
It's a very tough one. It's very tough that, the single mother is probably the one in the most difficult position because there is no support. So what I would say to her is, yes, there are a lot of women in that position and it's really tough. Secondly, you need to do your budget. You need to know where your money is going on a monthly basis, and you need to pay yourself first, as I've just said. Start small. Even if it's 50 Rand a month, start putting money away for that emergency fund, and if you don't need to use that money, it can actually snowball into something bigger. When you get a bonus, if you're lucky to get a 13th check or any kind of windfall, put some of that money away. You were talking earlier about the 500,000 Rand, put some of it away. It's as simple as it is.
Yeah, Tropica Island of Treasure winner. Save it. Don't spend it. You don't need new shoes.
Not now.
We always need new shoes. No, I'm just kidding. Nomonde Ndlovu here says, Happy Women's Month, Sylvia. I'm a 19-year-old woman and I'm about to start working. I would like to know how I can identify a bank that is suitable for me.
Okay, so choosing a bank account, you choose it for one of two reasons. You might want a bank account for a transactional purpose, so for your money in, money out on a daily kind of basis, or for a savings account. If you want it for a transactional account, get the cheapest bank account. It's as simple as it is. There's lots of bells and whistles. I worked in the marketing industry for many years, so there's a lot of stuff that gets added that you don't need. Google, shop around, get the cheapest bank account. If it's for savings purposes, get the one that pays the best interest. It's as simple as it is. I believe in sticking to the knitting. Get what you need for the purpose you need it for. And don't be sort of guided or misled by all the bells and whistles out there.
Absolutely.
I fall into those traps. I love bells and whistles. It's a problem.
Well, you heard it here first from Sylvia. Let's stick to the knitting. Now we continue our chat with our incredible guests after the break.